of people here right now. Actually, nobody right here right now. So uh, let's see. Life update. Kojak woke up on Sunday with a pronounced limp in his front right upper leg, like right here where the elbow is. And I basically took him to the vet today because it wasn't getting any better. We thought it was going to get better, and then it didn't. And hopefully, it's nothing more than it's nothing what the doctor thinks it is. She said arthritis. I'm like, but he's 4 years old. All right. So he's on gabapentin and another drug. A lot of money, $127. It's like, look, but I think that was mostly the medicine. I don't know. So he gets it every 12 hours. I'm going to have to probably be awake till 11 tonight to give him his next dose. So that's going on. Other than that, beautiful day. Gonna put the Halloween lights up after I'm done talking to you guys here, and getting ready. Hey, Cross. I don't know. She said it felt crunchy, which meant it's bone on bone, which that, if, and he's a big dog. I mean, she's basically trying to say that he's middle aged now, and it's like, but he has cousins and uncles that are like 10 and 12 and 13 years old. So I don't know. I mean, he doesn't act old. It's the only thing I've ever seen that is concerning on him, besides the fact that he likes to eat really bad things and then vomit in the middle of the night and shit all over the bedroom floor, which is lovely to wake up to. And then cleaning the carpets at 2 in the morning. But anyway, we'll just monitor it. They'll call me in 10 days just to see how he's doing. I think he'll be okay. He's sleeping right now. He's right there. He can't. Yeah, I think he can see him. He's down there. Anyway, so it came out that Lucasfilm got a new trademark for Rogue Squadron. And it looks like it's going to be like a Wedge Antilles anthology movie. And I think Rogue Squadron without Kathleen Kennedy would be a good idea. Now, I don't know if... Thanks, Cam. Well, it's not serious because the only thing you could tell is that it was a limp. I don't know. Just gotta watch them, Anyway, so I don't know. All right, about the Rogue Squadron thing. Back. I don't know if Patty Jenkins is part of it. She did mention that they were talking about doing it again. And now that they filed for a trademark for it, I don't think it's going to be the original script because they already had a trademark for that, I think. I'm hoping it actually at least resembles that script because Cameron was told that it's a really good script. So we'll have to see. So we've got that. And then we've got news about The Mandalorian. So the other day, Matt Bellany said in passing in his news letter that The Mandalorian and Grogu wrapped. Well, he misspoke. It didn't. In fact, the stunt man, all right, we've got, I can't remember his name, Brendan Wayne plays the Mandalorian, the body, right? And you can tell when he's in the costume because he walks like his grandfather. He does that John Wayne swagger. Okay. The other guy who plays Mando, he's the stunt man. And he was the one on Instagram saying that they were still filming. Now, if we remember right, Sparrow told Cameron that they were filming around scenes because apparently Jon Favreau is holding out hope that Gina Carano comes back. I I think you will, Kim. Anyway, so there's that, and it's Tuesday. October 29th. The spooky season. You should be watching scary movies. Like my favorite scary movies, The Exorcist. I love Poltergeist a lot. Let's see, The Exorcism of Emily Rose. I don't like slasher movies. Okay, but just it's that season. And of course, presidential elections coming up, and wow is all I can say. Apparently, Kamala Harris has pulled all of her funding and her workers out of North Carolina to shore up Virginia, of all places. And so it's getting real. I mean, it's we'll have to see if you're in an area and you're registered to vote as a Republican. Get out and vote now, and you can vote early. Do it now. Got to make it too big to rig. Okay, got to make it too big to rig, and I think we can do it. But we got to see what happens. Anyway, back to Star Wars. So, Nefarious is really good. Nefarious scared the hell out of me. I was really kind of grossed out by Glenn Beck being in it, but Nefarious is. My husband won't watch it. He won't watch it. I'm like, if you're wearing Saint Benedict, I think you're okay. I mean, I don't know. Oh, they're tangled. Okay, well, I got Saint Benedict and I've got Saint Joseph here. So anyway, yeah, it depends on what Kim. It depends on what and when Disney decides to try to make a deal with her. So and try to come up with a solution to the problem. Disney's got a lot of issues. Like yesterday, I was going through stuff, and Caroline Reed basically posted. It was basically the similar thing to. In fact, I think she just recycled the article she wrote about The Force Awakens, and it basically the Lunac Heavy Industries is the shell company in England, and they're still paying out for Rogue One. And I could not get into the files, and I think they basically took them all down. I think they hid them because people like us were taking them and looking at them and dissecting what it all meant. And the British, being who they are very censorious, bordering on fascist. I think they're behaving now. British government and the Canadian government are pretty fucking evil, in my opinion. Anyway, so they're still putting payments out. Why? Because they're getting sued over Peter Cushing's likeness by a company named Tyburn Productions, which in 93 or 94, before Peter Cushing died, he had signed a contract with them. Now, Disney Lucasfilm went to Peter Cushing's estate, his personal estate, and asked for permission to use his likeness in Rogue One, and they were like, they paid him like $30,000 for it. I would have asked a hell of a lot more. It is Disney after all. And everybody thought it was copacetic, and then Tyburn Productions goes, "Oh, we can make some money here." I don't really care too much for anything Stephen King has done, except for Salem's Lot. That's another scary one. I tend to go more for gothic horror, and like even Universal monster stuff rather than stuff that he writes. He just, his idea of horror is just, I don't know. fucking crazy. But so we've got that going on. Can't get the numbers because I think Government House pulled them because they knew because of, I think, probably the lawsuit. Then we've got, Gina's lawsuit, and she's got the upper hand now. We've got the Karen McCarthy lawsuit, which has gone into discovery, obviously, because they deposed Harvey's former personal assistant. And we got the bag lawsuit from that company in Duluth, Minnesota. And I'm, I don't see where it ends without Disney having to come to terms with somebody and just saying, here's your money, go with God. All right, we're sorry. So I think the Gina lawsuit's probably the easiest one solved. Okay. All she wants is her job and her money back and $75,000. Okay. Disney can afford that. They can afford it if she asks for $10 million. Okay. Not a problem. So we'll have to see that. But then, of course, we've got the Kathleen Kennedy thing. Now, yesterday on Sci-Fi for You, Jason Hunt had Cameron on, and they were talking about when Kennedy's actually, her contract is up. Now, she was signed on to be the interim head of Lucasfilm when the company was sold on October 31st, 2012. Remember that. And every year, her contract seemed to get renewed when the contract was up around Halloween. Okay, we've got a week. All right, we've got till Thursday, right? A week till the election, till Thursday. So, and we have not heard anything about her getting her contract renewed. Matt Bellamy's been really critical of her, but they're not talking about it. Now, I've got my ideas here, and they're very, how can I say it? They're very, you gotta look at the past. So Cameron said he wasn't sure when her contract would be renewed. And I'm like, look, this is when we start talking about it, is in August or September, and the rumors start swirling that it's been renewed. No one's talking like that right now. And then it gets announced around this time or after this time. And if I remember right, back in, when was it, 2018? It was the middle of October that they announced she had renewed her contract. And then I think it was January or December of 2021 that this latest contract was, that Bellany inadvertently dropped the story out there. Okay, so you got to kind of look at this stuff and go, okay, I get it, but and it's really, so where are we with this? I don't know. Like yesterday or the day before when I dropped that video, it's like Disney's not being forthcoming with any of this. Why? Ask God, because he's the only one who knows. And Bob Iger and probably James Gorman. So I just go, here's the deal. Okay. If we don't hear anything on Halloween, it says a lot. Okay, it says a lot because, there aren't any rumors of her contract being extended. Now, if they extend it to mid next year's second quarter, which would be about April, I think they would almost have to announce it. But when you see how people are behaving, they're not talking. They're very quiet about stuff. The shills, like the Star Wars Explained, are not talking about any of this. Tells you a lot. And I think they would be the ones to find out first. Annette Bellany hasn't said a word. Yeah, I'm being very critical of her. So that's what we've got to talk about. It's very muddled, I think. I fully expect to wake up in the morning and see a bunch of articles about her leaving or staying. All right, but nothing's come out. Nothing's come out. And like Michelle Redjwan, I was in my bathroom putting on my makeup upstairs when I looked down and I saw an email come over saying Michelle Redjwan leaves Lucasfilm. That was a big deal. Now, my personal opinion is that she got thrown under the bus for something. Kennedy let her, Kennedy let her be the one to take the blame for something. And Jacob's right. They might be doing the old ignore it and it'll go away approach, and it doesn't go away. Look, if I'm running Disney and I'm looking at Lucasfilm, I'm thinking those employees deserve better. The filmmakers deserve better. Okay. The audience deserves better. And as long as Kennedy's name, even in president in name only, President Emeritus of Lucasfilm, is there, they can't go forward. Like, Sparrow told Cameron next week, they're waiting for Kennedy to leave, and then they will start slimming down the company. Okay, like doing Elon Musk to Lucasfilm. And, like I've said before, Sparrow said this too, that they're not necessarily going to lay people off. They're going to let their contracts expire and then leave. And not renew them, which means a lot of people there don't have a whole lot to do right now because they're not getting any work. It's a very very obvious way of running a company when you have employees that aren't doing their jobs, and they signed a contract. You just wait them out, and just maybe they'll get the hint and leave on their own recognizance, which is another way of doing things. So there's that. So I don't like the lack of transparency. I don't like not knowing. I don't think it's fair to us. It's not fair to Cameron. It's not fair to anybody that we have to sit there and say all the things we've been saying without any, see, here are the receipts. It's obvious that they don't want something to get out there. And it might have everything to do with evidence in the Gina Carano trial. It might have everything to do with the Karen McCarthy, or it just might, and I'm going to tell you something. If you're thinking that Kennedy knew where all the bodies are buried over the Twilight Zone disaster where Vic Morrow and those two kids were basically decapitated by an out-of-control Huey chopper while they were filming the Vietnam scenes for the, was it 1982, whenever year, Twilight Zone, the movie. The director he basically got canceled for that. And it was always the story that Kennedy had been on set. That wasn't true. The person in her life that was on set, because the rumor was everybody on that set, that the crew Even the safety people were all coked out. Okay. The person that was on set was Kennedy's husband, Frank Marshall. Marshall gets on a plane, gets on Spielberg's plane and goes to London. Federal Marshal shows up with a representative of the British government to, I'm going to say that one of the big, the Dorchester in London, or the Ritz or whatever, to take Marshall back for questioning over the accident. Marshall told them, I have to take a shower, let me get cleaned up and packed, and I'll go with you. Marshall packed his shit, went out the other way, got on a cab, took the plane to Paris, where there's there's no any way of the U.S. government being able to extradite him or bring him back. That there's basically seeking asylum, and he lived there for a while. He went there for a while. So if Kathy knows anything, it's secondhand, because she was not technically on the lot they were filming on. So I think what could be going on, and it's so stupid. And look, Iger could be a Jeff Bezos and say, we're not going to do this anymore. Okay, we're not going to hide secretly or endorse a candidate as per Bezos, because the readers are starting not to trust us. You'll think so? Iger could take the same approach, saying, this is what's going on. The reason why is because the Star Wars fan community is broken. They blame us and her especially for it. We want the fan community to know what's going on with Lucasfilm. It would be the fair and right thing to do, right? Now, sure, Molly Damon might shut down Star Wars Explained. Whatchamacallit at making Star Wars. Jason Ward will probably be crying. He'll shut down. Anybody who would be offended by that never helped in the first place. The Black Pills will look for somebody else to hate. They still own it, and they're not going to sell it. And, and that's the thing that people got to remember. But as long, oh yeah, Cross is right. There's a wrong way to do something, and I'm going to add this. The reason why Iger's probably not willing to have the rags run with it, the trade rags run with it, is because he doesn't want to have I fired the first female head of a movie studio on his lanyard. And it's like, Bob, she was not the first head of anything. Okay. Many, including, over 100 years ago, Edith, I told you guys about her, Bovell, or whatever her last name was, went to Hollywood, and after her ex-husband died, ran their film company. Okay, so she technically, and actually, is the first female head of a movie studio, and that was over 100 fucking years ago. Okay, then we have others. Mary Pickford being involved with this. And other silent film actresses, putting their names down as not just actresses, but leaders in the community. We've got, all right, Lucille Ball taking over Desilu. We've got Dawn Steele, Sherry Lansing, etc. So when I hear that concern about how women would react, it's like, please give me a real a real reason that is not some made up chicken shit bullshit. Okay, because I can fire the first woman studio head, but she's not. She didn't break any fucking barriers or break any glass ceilings. Nobody in her circle that our women have. Leslie Headland didn't. There are plenty of goddamn female, probably lesbians, running around being showrunners. They just don't make it their thing. Okay? I mean, who? What? And because they're women and they're a quote unquote alphabet minority, they're immune from criticism? Are you fucking shitting me? You know, I'll give you an example. I know a lot of Democrats who've left the party or are voting for Trump because Kamala Harris is an incompetent twat. She is. I'm saying it right now. It's not because she's a woman. It's not because she's a woman of color. She's Asian, Indian, and Jamaican. It's because she's an incompetent twat. Same thing with Kathleen Kennedy. Everything she's ever done in her whole life was on the shoulders of the actual people who did it. Spielberg, Milius, Lucas, Zemeckis, Scorsese, Eastwood, you name it. Okay, others. She benefited from their creativity. Okay. And instead of capitalizing on it, instead of appreciating the opportunity she had, she went and shit all over the legacies of two of the guys that actually really put her name out there, namely Lucas and Spielberg. Okay. And, you know, there's a reason why Steven Spielberg said, fuck this shit, I'm not doing this with her anymore. All right, there's a reason why. Reason why is because what she wanted to do with Indiana Jones was garbage. Okay? There's a reason why George basically, when he won that Lifetime Achievement Palme d'Or at Cannes, basically said they don't know what the Force is. They don't know what they're doing. I'm paraphrasing, but he said that. He was talking about the Trashlight. He was talking about Leslie Headland. All right? And he was talking about Obai Chinoy, by the way, whom apparently he doesn't want anywhere near Star Wars, and neither does Jon Favreau. Okay? Now they've lost their writer for the fake Rey movie. It's not going to happen. Okay? Kennedy is lucky that the Acolyte just doesn't get pulled off of Disney Plus. Now, if you noticed, the hysterics from the Acolyte fans and Amanda Stenberg have gotten quiet, right? Now it's Tatiana Maslany, whatever her name is, She-Hulk, basically screaming at Ryan Reynolds for basically taking She-Hulk out of Deadpool and Wolverine. It's like, because you suck. You suck. And she's screaming, you know, basically begging and pleading and demanding and threatening Kevin Feige. It's over. No one cares. You know, you want to look at her and go, but it sucked. It sucked. Quit trying to make it something it wasn't. It sucked. It sucked. It sucked. It sucked. It sucked. Okay. Anyway, you know, so there that all is. And meanwhile, we get to sit here and wait for news of Kathleen Kennedy leaving. And remember, back in 2021 or back in 2018, you know, we found out, I think it was earlier in October, Kennedy had her next contract renewed. And then 2021, it took them a while to admit it. And both times, it was never announced in the news. It was a blurb, but it wasn't a press release. It wasn't, Disney's proud to renew Kathleen Kennedy's contract, nothing like that. Because they really wanted her to leave. Okay. The only problem is they couldn't find somebody to take over. Okay. Now, I think on this time, that things are different. And I think they've already, I mean, from what we've been told, the new head of Lucasfilm, for good or bad, is Jon Favreau. Nanya, why are you laughing? Hey, Blue Wrenches, watch this guy. Anyway, so why haven't we heard anything? And these are all the, these are all the issues that are coming out. And just think, the moment you go to the Lucasfilm leadership page, her picture's not there. And then you see Rain Roberts' picture removed. You see Kenneth Campo's picture removed. Rhonda Hjort's picture removed. Then you'll see real changes coming. Okay. Anyway, I gotta go. I just wanted to go on for a half hour and just say hi to you guys. We'll just have to see. I know last night, two things occurred. Mando is still filming, and Rogue Squadron's trademark got changed. So, looks like we're getting a Rogue Squadron movie at some point. Anyway, I gotta rock. I'm gonna put my Halloween lights up. See you around the galaxy.